lovely to meet you. My name's Ellie from HeyUGuys. How are you?
Lovely to meet you. Thank you.
And congratulations on your directorial debut. What an incredible film to have done it with.
Thanks. Thank you. No, it's it's a dream come true. It's something I've thought about my whole life, but no, this has been really, really emotional. I'm really emotional.
And when did you get the idea for this film? Or inspired seems like the wrong word, but what inspired you to create this film?
No. I mean, I understand that the word choice. The sort of catalyst that got me thinking about the subject matter was the Parkland shooting, and I was a new parent. My daughter was 1.5, and it affected me differently. I immediately started buying books and just sort of diving into anything and everything I could find on the subject. I had no movie in mind. I was working on something else, a screenplay, but these were all sort of dreams of making a movie. Nothing was really becoming a reality. And I came across these meetings, and it reminded me of the forgiveness and the effort to forgive and reconcile in the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of South Africa in the 90s after apartheid. And I thought that was something that I always was so inspired by, this notion of restorative justice. And I thought that this is it. I want to know what these people speak about and how they do this. And so I tried to dramatize it, mostly because I personally wanted to know how you could get through the most difficult situation, the most difficult circumstances, you know.
And what was it like transitioning from acting to directing and writing? Was it more of a challenge than you anticipated, or did you kind of slide straight into it?
I was so focused and passionate and dedicated to this thing. It never crossed my mind, but I'll tell you, when I was on set and I would be walking, up to the actors, and I wasn't in the room. I wanted to give them privacy, but I would take this sort of long walk to the room thinking about what I wanted to say, and in my head I'd be like, don't say that. You would never want to hear that. So it was sort of like, it really hurt me. People, did it help me as an actor? And I'm like, no. It sort of just got me really in my head and made it really difficult. But no, it was lovely. What truly, I love actors and I believe in their importance. And so I knew I had these incredible people, and I knew they're as good as it gets. So I wanted to empower them by asking them what they needed and what they felt was missing, and where I could rewrite things to make the journey easier is a funny word, but easier for them,
So it sounds like there was a lot of trust between the five of you.
Yes, and it happened very quickly. I mean, actors are fun. They want to become an ensemble. They want to become a family, and so we did that in a very short 2.5-day rehearsal. We bonded intensely, very quickly, and I think because we knew what we had to do, and we sort of dove into this, and I said, whatever doesn't work, like wherever you feel like something is missing, tell me, please, and I'll rewrite it. I will, there were things that were sort of sacred, and obviously the story was the story, but I needed to make sure they were always active and always alive and always just emotionally connected. So if they felt, I kind of need to take this step, then we would figure out what that was and write it, No.
And finally, what would you like audiences to take from this film? If there was one thing that you could think of that you would like someone to think about when they've left the cinema, What would that be?
Right now, my country, and I believe you guys can relate, all over the world, we feel so much division, and I worry deeply about the kind of country my daughter's going to grow up into, and I want this to be an example. I want to show people working through their differences and to get to a more positive, more hopeful place. Whether it's forgiveness, human connection, whatever it is, I love for this film to represent the promise and possibility of working through our differences and learning to live with one another,
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Fran. Cheers.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!